Hello everyone, welcome to ZSR. Today we are going to be doing, we have the Cadence of Hyrule community showcase. With me is Jack of Arcades to commentate.
Hey, hello everybody. Yeah, so this is normally a thing. It's a community race that we do every weeknight for Necrodancer, but on Fridays we're trying out running Cadence of Hyrule. Obviously, everyone is really years now. There's a lot of crossover between people who love Necrodancer and love Zelda, so it was a great fit. And we've already got crazy speedruns going down too, so hopefully we'll be able to show off some real fast times between Goof and Spoody. Alright, looks like we're off. So both the characters, both these racers are choosing Zelda. Zelda has two spells which are really powerful. The one you start with, the R button spell, which you get right here in Nehru's Love, is actually really good for speed. It lets you reflect projectiles, but also reflect melee damage back onto enemies, and that helps you kill some mini bosses and bosses a lot quicker. Goof here's going to try and get the 50 rupee. It's a little awkward to use the Neighbor's Love, but... Alright, so Spoody will start off. He's going to check his map. What he wants to find first is the loop, which is the flute in this game. Lets you travel between these little Sheikah Stone checkpoints. There's a room in which Cadence from Necrodancer will give you upgrades, and the first one she gives you is the loot. So they're on the same screen right now trying to find where Cadence is. I think it should be to the right of this room, but I'm not sure. And they're both going in the wrong... Well, they're both going in a different direction. I don't know. Yeah, the overworld has this screens, basically, always, but sometimes they're shuffled around. Oh, they're checking, like, Hylia. So, they also want... there's a checkpoint in, like, Hylia you want to get you right back to Hyrule Castle. And there's a checkpoint outside the ice dungeon, the Frozen Grotto, that you want as well. These little mini-room dungeons right here, find them. They're a little randomized. They're always in the same spot, but the actual dungeons can be a little bit different. You have to kill all the enemies to get stuff. They're going to get a key. You need keys in the dungeons to ascend the level. It looks like there's nothing else in here besides a key. We haven't... So we don't know exactly what's... Here's the Hyrule Castle checkpoint, and if you go down the screen from here, you get the Lake Hylia overworld map, which has the entrance to the Frozen Grotto. Spoody's going to bomb this right here and open this room. Goof here is going to get the flippers. You have to talk to these ghosts and find a ghost that says something back. And when you bomb them, they spawn a ghoul from the Necrodancer. And once you kill the school, like that, you get the flickers from Zora. Spooty has to deal with a Lionel here. Okay. See, they use that reflect there to deal the damage back on the Lionel. See, and there's the bow. The bow is very useful. Not really for dealing damage so much, but it lets you turn in place, which is useful for getting off some hook shots and so on. An advantage is choosing Link over Zelda. So Link can use the longsword instead of the rapier, but everyone more or less agrees the rapier is better anyway. They start in different places, so there's the loot for Goof. So he's gonna go and he's gonna work back up the desert area. So desert is probably the first dungeon you want to do. There is a guaranteed upgrade to your dagger in the desert. It's in the same room as the dungeon entrance. Although you're seeing this is like the Death Mountain. It's bleeding into Death Mountain, so it's hard to find the village. You also want to find the village. Power Glove, let's let you do a couple of skips. And there's the loot for Spooty 2. So he's going to get his loot there. Sometimes you find the Lost Woods quickly and you get it there too. Alright, you play the Gerudo Song here. And you wake up Araria. It's always the same color notes, even though the notes are shuffled around, so you can... Oh, it looks like he's having trouble. If you need to know what it is, you can hit that play button, and it'll tell you. Alright, Araria's up. There's the Power Glove. The ruins are to the north. So to get into Gerudo, into Dungeon Desert, find 3 the drawbridge. The gears are in these rooms, these teal rooms. You really do need a shovel here to make it work. Looks like Goof missed that reflect and he's having trouble. There's the reflect. One feature of Cadence of Hyrule is then when there's to whatever beat you want. Oh, look at the reflect there on that Talus. That's just going to neutralize him. This is the second Cadence room here. Cadence gives you the L button upgrade for the characters, so spin attack or the Din's Fire. Fireball is pretty useful if you want to take out a crowd of enemies. But the reflect tends to be the weapon of choice because it just deals the damage right back. So it's really good on main bosses. Now you gotta bomb those enemies after you... Or you just reflect and kill them like Goof does here. Or push them into lava. There's a puzzle later on where you have to push those guys into the lava to form a bridge. Okay, so Spooty got the titanium dagger. That'll do 2 damage now. Still just a dagger, so still just 1 range. Yeah, Neighbor's Love is ridiculously... Alright, looks like Goof will probably head over and get that dagger. Oh, he still needs 1 more gear. Oh no, Spooty tried to use the bomb to knock that platform down, but it was blocked by him. Okay. So Goof actually warped. Did he already get the titanium dagger? He might have already done that. There are ways to skip that first room, but you need, like, there's a passive upgrade that you can buy to make you immune to lava, and that plus the flippers means you can swim and get the boss key right away. So you get a key for your trouble for killing that Talus, which is nice. That means you can skip. Each dungeon room has a sort of small room where you have to kill a bunch of enemies, and they drop a key room that blocks a mini boss. It unleashes this game is too short. Yeah, it is a little short. It's pretty good for speedrunning, I feel like. We're gonna see probably around 40-minute, 30-minute times or so in these runs. So these boots of power that both of them have give you +1 damage, but your items do break eventually, and if you die, you lose them. Those hover boots are also nice too. Goof accidentally killing every single one of these guys. You gotta have one of them alive so you can push this guy across and open and get your boss key. Potentially taking hot cold damage there. Could just pick him up and throw him, but here's base Guitarmos Knights. Alright, a staple of the games. Just gotta go ahead and kill these red knights before you kill the blue one is vulnerable. They just drop hot coals, and eventually you see the red one just flies around. But yeah, you can do some nice reflect damage. I might see if we get a flawless fight here from either of them. Flawless gets you access to a red or blue, no. But they finish at around the same time, so we are very close. Of course, Goof is more or less following routing that Spoody has come up with. You'll see them both. Although, in this case, Goof's to the side. He's going to go look for the Lost Woods. So this ice dungeon, you can skip the first room with the Power Glove, but you can pull these ice blocks out of the way and make a sort of a wall that stops you and get access to these stairs right here. Normally you have to push down that green block that's on the platform to access it, but with the Power Glove you can skip. So that gives you a little bit of room. He also has a key. Any post-game content for this game after beating Ganon. There is a challenge if you turn in a bunch of Deku Seeds to Tingle. But aside from that, no. I guess it's just speedrunning or trying to do various challenges like double time or permadeath. So yeah, having these keys means you can skip finding the boss fight, but the compass will point you where you have to go. If you have a key, it actually points you to the key door. If you don't have a key, it'll point you to the key room. Alright, you got another Talus. You can just go ahead and reflect and kill. There is the Ring of Courage, which gives you a dash after you kill. Alright, so Goof found the Lost Woods. You can actually navigate your way through. There's a bunch of screens, and you just have to go towards the exit that the strongest enemy spawned at, and you can just find it. This was Robo from the ice dungeon here. It's kind of a tough fight. Spawns a lot of ice. Looks like Spoody's having trouble. Might actually just take a death here. You have to go track him down and hit him. There's a limited bit of time. I think it's too short. Yeah, I don't know if they wanted to make a really, really game as much as it... Oh, he hit him, but he took damage from a glacier. But when you die, you do get a diamond shop to spend your diamonds, and sometimes that involves a heart container. There's 2 heart containers in the diamond shop. So that helps you beat the game there. He's going to use his arrows to hit him. It only does 1 damage, but sometimes you can't really hit him otherwise. And the 3 hearts. This is also a hard one to really reflect, because he doesn't really attack towards... So try to use Spin's Fire there, and he does it, and Ice Dungeon done. So not a random dungeons on the selector screen? I'm not sure what you mean. The dungeons are random. It's just like just I don't know. They're the same every time. Like the actual dungeons are the same, but the layouts and stuff are different every time. In fact, if you leave a dungeon and go back, it's also different. Alright, so Spoody's heading Lost Woods. Goof is still in the swamp dungeon. He's gonna buy himself a key. So buying keys. I think he hit his leaf by accident. He wanted to buy him out of here, and he realizes he can't get through. So yeah, you need keys to get through the dungeon. You see this door. Random light source is fixed. I think it's always random. I don't know. There's the longsword. That's actually a Link exclusive weapon. It hits 2 spaces in front of you. We got a shadow boss here versus Zelda. You're gonna see if you hit Zelda, she does her Nehru's Love and bounces back at you. It's like reminiscent from the Blade Master from Zone 4 in the Cadence. Here you see Spoody's actually making his way to Lost Woods. Yeah, killing those mushrooms is kind of a pain. You need a ranged attack. The bomb chews don't work though. Those are the bombs that glide forward because they get stuck in the water. And Goof didn't have any stamina, so to use the bow, I think. The world, it's the same screens. They're just shuffled in ways with some rules that they must be followed. Alright, so Goof is going to try to get this heart piece, because heart pieces do refill your health. And he's off to fight the boss, which is Go Maracas. One of the, say it, easier bosses. Very seem different from yours. Yeah, so where they are on the map is different, although there usually will be in the same general direction. That's the first phase down, pretty easy. Also, the bosses do scale depending on how many dungeons you've done. So it's possible when Speedy gets here that his boss will be a little bit stronger because he's already finished another dungeon. Alright, you're probably going to see Goof warp to the ice dungeon and do that by himself. That blue chest has a poison dagger, probably doesn't want it. Yep, so, and you see there is a dark version of Goof, which will have a little bit extra health. Right, Goof is trying to figure out how to do this skip right here. And he's got it. And a glass shovel is... So it's the same item. So Spoody, because we're on the same team. So same layouts and everything. Yeah, the original Necrodancer was actually very short. When we do races, they're 7-8 minutes. If it's really fast, it'll be under 7 minutes. So... But that's a game where it's like, you kind of know where the exit is already. Just push towards it. Whereas here you gotta like, go explore and find the things. You know, it's only a $25 game. You know, it's not a big team working on it, it's just a small studio. Goof has found the mini boss room, which will let him get the boss. This is a talus, so you're going to see part of the same idea of use that reflect. And there, it's done. The reflect kind of trivializes a lot of these encounters. Goof having trouble finding his way to this chest here. Okay. Oh, he didn't realize you can push that. Okay. Boss key down. He gets the ice rod. I don't think he's going to see a lot of... the spells are really good. I kind of want it. Although, looks like he's gonna use the boomerang here. Something in Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. Yeah, so Necrodancer did get Pokemon Mystery Dungeon comparisons. So, yeah, it's one of the inspirations. So this is kind of that version of that. So he's gonna try to use a bomb, but it doesn't work. He's gonna use Fire Rod to try and burn. And like you're just trying to hit him to get him to the next phase. Of course, he has more health because this is the third boss, not the second boss like it was when Spooty fought him. And having not much damage can be a pain here. He's also down to 2 hearts, no potions or anything. He's gonna look for, this is an enchant weapon scroll that'll give him plus. So he's reflecting here, but it doesn't actually do any damage. And he's got 4. He enchanted the weapon, but I don't think he hit it. I don't know if he did or not. One more hit will kill him, and things are getting spicy. Dodge everything. There it is. Oh, okay. There's a hardcore mode. Hardcore. Very similar. Alright, so now we're heading to Death Mountain. Where Spooty is already here, and Spooty has found Death Mountain. But, so to traverse Death Mountain, you need here to win. They give you the down stab ability, which lets you basically pogo off of the enemy. And as you can see, Spooty has memorized the tune in yellow, green, yellow, light green, red. So he doesn't have to play it. The notes are randomized in places, but it's the same color. So that you know that. Do this box puzzle, you get a chest up here, which gives you the Cane of Samaria. That is interesting. That actually kind of lets him do some stuff, but he already got the down test abilities. So Cane of Samaria, like in other games, lets you put a block down. Yeah, so Goof needs to find that windmill hut. Yeah, they're items, but you know, it's like randomizer, right? Those items, you know, you don't need them. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't. Huh? Spooty just tried to use the Demon's Fire to knock the switch, which extends the bridge, but did it wrong? I don't know what he's. He's got a strat here. I haven't seen it. I don't know. What's he doing? He's coming this way. Reset now. It resets per run, but it doesn't like if I. Oh, bounce traps aren't mirrored. Looks like Goof messed up that pogo. Okay, you'll see he's gonna pogo on this little tech, whatever it is called, Tektite. It's a switch. There goes the bridge. So, yeah, we're pretty close. Only a few screens behind. This is pretty close. It could come down to some death or something. Alright, there's the Temple of Storms. You can do a skip with the iron boots. Oh, that's interesting. He picked up the iron boots. So you can't fly here with iron boots. Alright, there's boots there. I wonder if there's always boots there just in case you have the iron boots. Yeah, so we talked about having a sort of an the kind of consensus was you got so powerful that it wouldn't matter. Yeah, Goof's realizing that he's got those iron boots and he doesn't know what to do because he can't float from these air vents. He's gonna kill himself to lose the boots. He's gonna try to kill himself, but he's not actually gonna kill himself. There, he's gonna kill himself with the firewall. And I get a heart container for his troubles. And some... just a shovel. And a torch. Alright. What's actually interesting is that one of the pots he didn't boots, so he wouldn't find. Alright. Gonna make a lot of use of that Nehru's Love. You stamina back for killing enemies, so if you kill enemies with the Nehru's Love, you're gonna get back. Spoody's making his way to the key door here, this mini boss room. Oh, they're just gonna try and figure out how to get around this. There's the compass that I'm pointing towards. He doesn't even pick it up. Alright, we got a Hinox. Alright, these guys throw bombs, and then when they get mad, they're crazy, but he doesn't need them, because he just kills them real quick. And boss keys behind this, these traps right here. Alright, off to the boss room to fight Glockenspiel. Maybe the hardest boss of these four. And of course, we save it for last, it has a lot of health. He's going to throw these bomb shoes to try and get all these heads off. Getting these heads off makes it a lot easier to deal with, because otherwise the big breath attack isn't there. And with all the damage, it's just fine, actually. Thank you very much. There's the Glockenspiel, and we are off to the castle. Alright, so we'll see. I don't know if they got the hook shot. I don't think they did. If you have the hook shot, you can get some legendary weapons in the castle. I don't have an item tracker with me to know. See? Nope, he's just going for right side, which means he doesn't. Light with fireball, and off we go. So, you have to get through a few floors of this before you get to fight Octavo, who is the bard from Necrodancer, or the Necrodancer from Necrodancer, basically, but like a younger version. And, of course, Octavo is actually idealistic, and he's doing spoilers. But, what you think might be the final boss is not. So he needs to fight this key here. Meanwhile, we've got the Hinox fight for Goof. And he gets a bit of power. So he's just a little bit behind here. He's about boss fight and a half behind. Yeah, that's not good. Brace Yourself Games had a stream, and right away they said they can't talk. So no talk about DLC or new characters or anything like that. Spoody takes a hit from that enemy. He didn't have the stamina for the reflect. He gets a glass dagger for his troubles, which is extra damage, but if you get touched, you lose the dagger. But it's real nice and it re-equips the dagger the previous weapon you had. Those statues that shoot fireballs, those are actually color-coded for characters. Oh, Goof goes down on Glockenspiel. Purple for Zelda and green for Link. So if you're the opposite color, you don't get hit. So Zelda will take damage. Won't take damage in this room, but Link would. Alright, these two flare guys. Gonna see, just use that reflect. Take care of it nice and easy. And there's a glass rapier, which is automatically lost because it's lying. DLC would be a difficult thing to do unless it's... What do you mean? Reflecting lets you get around things like hitting shielded enemies. I love all these little cardboard cutouts of Necrodancer. Including the Necrodancer right there. Alright, another Talus. Just reflect. Hit it a few times. Dead. Alright, Goof's still on this Glockenspiel boss. Definitely one of the harder bosses. And definitely, if you don't have the bomb shoes, you sort of rain down a bunch of damage on him. It's going to be pretty hard. Alright, here's the Octavo fight. So Octavo actually sends these colored... Nintendo's using one mixture. This is published by Nintendo. This is not a fan game or anything. Alright, so Octavo sends waves at you based on the instrument. So you see the guitars flashing, and it's got one Guitarmos Knights. Now we're gonna get the Glockenspiel, so we're gonna get the heads. And these colored, just like the orbs, those colored notes do damage based on who you are. So green hurts Zelda and purple hurts Link. You just have to hit Octavo a few times and go through all these instruments. Now we get the maracas, so we're gonna get the Go Maraca heads. Alright, you can see the purple's not hurting Zelda. Alright, and then one last final push with the boss type enemies. Just gotta hit him one more time, and there it is. So that's the Octavo fight done. Cadence joins you here. You can actually get Cadence earlier, but she's not necessary. Alright, Goof's still trying on this Glockenspiel, doesn't have stamina for Fireball. This fight gets harder as you die because you run out of resources, basically. He's trying to do anything to help him out here. It's low. It can be hard to predict the movement of the heads. This is actually based off of the final boss fight for Aria. It's very similar in Necrodancer. Yeah, I think everyone was surprised when Nintendo did this, especially because it was it's what you'd call, like, not really a hit. Like, it wasn't like an Isaac level hit or Spelunky or, you know, some of those other games. It was popular, it reviewed well, but it doesn't have like a huge community like some of those games, right? But yeah. Alright, so in this Ganon, you no longer need the keys, you just have to kill the mini-boss in these dungeons, so it's more like the original floors. And look, you can just dig right through and get to the mini-boss right here, and the mini-boss is just right there. And there. Just going ahead and doing that. Gets a glass. I think we're on the last... Yep, look at that compass put in work. And we're done with that, and it's just down to the game. Which is definitely interesting, and it's definitely similar to the Necrodancer. Alright, so you have to free your other parties, and you're actually controlling all of them at once. So each movement you do, and what you need to do is attack Ganon to get rid of that bubble, and then attack with the other person. Of course, attacking the bubble stuns your character. You don't want to do that. Alright. So we're just going to keep Cadence in the eyes, because you share a health pool, so it's actually better to leave one character in the ice. And Goof is still having trouble with the Glockenspiel. He's probably getting pretty frustrated at this point. Trying to do this with a dagger is pretty rough. Alright, of course, as you go, you get more tougher spawns. You get the Lionel's. Using a Cane of Samaria to try and maybe block some of the spawn. I don't know. Alright. We're getting to one more hit and we'll get to the final phase of the Ganon fight, which he gets the shot off there. So what you have to do there is stand in all 3 points of the Triforce. Your Your character locks into place once they stand on the Triforce, unless they, which is possible, and that's time. So Spooty finishes with 33:21, which is faster than anyone else has ever done it, except Spooty, of course, because he's Spooty. That would put him second on the leaderboard. It's very fast. Goof looks like he is gonna try to farm. "31 minutes, yeah." And like early on, it's like, oh, he's doing farming, he's trying to get some stuff. That's what it seems like. He's doing some room. It's like, oh, he's just gonna try to take this a little bit more slowly, make sure that he doesn't. No, he just ran, and he had the titanium dagger the entire time. Yeah, I can ask. Please. Yeah. Well, how many items are required to beat the game? Pretty much none. You need the flippers. Some of the stuff is nice, like you saw him make good use of the bow, and things like that. And he did get those from one of those rooms. So, but yeah, you don't really need a lot to beat the game. Yeah, flippers are sort of the intended way, but you can use the This fan-made music sounds great. Yeah, so that's... You could go a little bit faster, definitely. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. That's what a sort of, I guess, a normal speedrun is going to look like one game. Yeah, I don't know. I think Spooty's got stream remote on, so he's not seeing his skips or glitches to make other sections faster. There's a couple of... You can skip the first room in each dungeon. Oh, I'm gonna send an invite to Spooty now. To get him in for interview. Yeah, he's in the waiting room. Hey, Spooty.
Hey, hello.
That was a pretty crazy run. Almost world record. Just go to casually. It seemed like it wasn't really much of a...
Yeah, imagine if I hadn't died to Glockenspiel and dropped like 3 keys.
Yeah, that was pretty rough, because I noticed that was a thing.
Yeah, the state was pretty generous on the free keys, which...
Yeah, you got one from the Talus outside the desert.
Not generous on the whole getting the Royal Rapier thing, but that's okay. Titanium Dagger and Iris Love are all you need.
That is all you need. Yeah, that was pretty nuts. When I saw you go straight for the right room, I said, "Oh, yeah, I guess there's no hook shot on this seed, right?" So, no rapier.
I'm not quite sure. Like, I'm not 100% clear on how it works. I'm pretty sure there's a hook shot. Like, I'm pretty sure every item exists.
Well, yeah. It's just not quickly, not easy.
Yeah, like there's a pool of items that you can pick one out of, like at every dungeon, and the hookshot was just not in that pool, so that makes it hard to get. I'm like my best hope was getting it out of the windmill hut because that's like the one check that's convenient to do, and it was Cane of Samaria, which of course like that makes the Ice Palace skip a lot quicker, but you know it's already done.
All right. Eek asks if you wanted to get into racing this game.
Any advice? Well, make sure you're in the Necrodancer Discord for sure, because there's a really big community from Necrodancer that is also like learning how to play this game, and like a lot of the like combat and enemy management and stuff like carries over from Necrodancer. So there's a lot of people are already very experienced in that in general.
Yeah, that's why there's people who can come in and put on. Most enemies in this game are really analogous to Necrodancer, and the weapons carry over too. The combat's a little simpler in this game than it was in Necrodancer because there's less sort of item variety.
Yeah, there's less you have to keep in track of with your build. Like there's only a couple of items that really significantly affect your like main combat lines. Like compared to Necrodancer, where you are like having to juggle like 7 item slots and how they affect your attacks all at once. Unless you have like Ring of Courage here or Ring of Piercing, like you're attacking, you generally approach the same way.
Yeah, Necrodancer you have to understand a lot, play a lot to just get practice with a bunch of different weapons. With this, you probably are going to be running the dagger a lot, and then maybe running one of the legendary weapons at the end, like the rapier.
Yeah, glass weapons too when they show up.
Yeah.
I had the world's shortest glass rapier life in the one dungeon, I think in Hyrule Castle.
I did laugh about that.
Where, like, the mini boss dropped one, and then the white slime just immediately smacked into me. Like, that was.
So it looked like Goof went and fused his weapon before the Glock. But I guess he didn't get the titanium deck because he just infused it with titanium. Well, so you had a bunch of bomb shoes on this, and that looked interesting. Although you did try to do the normal bombs at first.
Yeah, bombs or bomb shoes both work pretty well. Like, I mean, the heads tend to cluster around the same general area, and you can very often, you can pretty much always hit at least 2 heads if you just throw bombs or bomb shoes in. Sometimes even 3 or all 4. Like, yeah, if you get lucky, like, you can have an insanely fast one where you just, like, throw 3 bomb shoes, the heads all immediately break off, and you just pummel about it and you're done.
This boss gives me flash trying to fight the Arya boss for the first time.
Yeah, some similarities to the.
It's just really hard to figure out what the heads
are flying everywhere.
Yeah, what are the heads gonna do? Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, one of the biggest differences I've noted between Necrodancer and this is there's a lot more randomness in the boss patterns. Like almost everything in Necrodancer is purely deterministic. Like it's like if you are this position relative to this enemy, they will always do this. Like boss fights like get a little variance in Necrodancer where it's like the ads spawn in slightly different starting positions, and that can affect the fight in a lot of ways that you wouldn't expect. But here, the bosses themselves like just have like a large variety of attacks that they can do, and they select those attacks randomly. And you see that a lot in this fight where the heads just kind of move. I'm pretty sure the head movement is just random, and sometimes they'll just like spam fireballs out, sometimes they'll just kind of bob around, not really doing much.
Looks like Goof might get this run. Oh, he's gonna get stuck.
Ooh, get stunned in the water. Yeah, you don't want to be in the water on the side unless you have boots to negate the shallow water sticking. Because the electricity attack affects the water nearby the body when it does that shock attack, and that'll stun you. And when you're stunned, you can't do anything. So if something comes and hits you, it's just lights out.
I noticed you were using the Zelda reflectability pretty aggressively.
Yeah, like I said, I think the most important thing to really like playing through those dungeons efficiently, and even a lot of bosses. Is just learning those enemy patterns, knowing when they'll attack, and just slamming that near as well. Like just slam it to till the cows come up.
Yeah, because you get a good bit of stamina back on a kill, and doing it right, you're getting a bunch of stamina back. And there's the kill. And yeah, it reflects the damage that they do back.
That's part of what makes Zelda just so like I think definitely the superior starting choice and character you generally want to run. Like Link has a spin attack, but yeah, but like it needs to be to charge, and you're not preventing damage from stuff that might not get one shot by. So whereas Zelda, like it's just a straight up like you've got 4 enemies surrounding you, all about to attack you. You just push it and you bounce back at them and clear them all out. Like it's I used to think Din's Fire was the insane spell, but like it's actually not that great. Like the fact that it like has that wind up and the charge time is not great.
All right, turn left in a beach. He says, ask about the error room that we kind of discovered. So did you know about the error room before today?
It doesn't no, have boots of speed. Mentioning it in my chat. I hadn't looked into it.
Yeah, so someone posted a screenshot of sort of a gift error. 500 rupee boots of speed, which apparently lets you ignore the beat. So I don't know. And then someone also said that they didn't find it in the same spot. So I don't know if it's a random find or something, but it looked pretty secretive, and I don't know. It's hard to say. If you can just ignore the beat, then yeah, it'd probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
We haven't.
Like I'm looking at the video now, it looks like it's probably like a catch-all, like out of bounds sort of thing. Like it just if you somehow end up outside the world map, it throws you there, kind of a thing. Because yeah, it's looking like given the video clip I'm seeing here, it looks like the Gerudo Valley's on the left edge of the map, and they are bringing a block over to just climb over the cliff and leave the left side, like off the edge of the world map. Like that's what I'm guessing this is. But I don't know, 500 rupees is a lot of rupees.
Yeah, you'd have to keep your groove going for a while. Sometimes you can get big drops later from enemies, or you do a room, you get like a 100 rupee drop instead of an item. But yeah, and if you could quickly access it, maybe, but it just seems like I don't know. We haven't noticed. Have we had people run the fixed beat mode to see how fast that goes?
I mean, it's fixed beat mode is the same as like when you're outside of combat.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, I just want to see like the relative.
Oh, you mean like how fast a run is with fixed speed mode? Yeah, I haven't done a fixed speed mode run. I would imagine you can probably cut the time in about half. But yeah, there's I'm doubtful that 500 rupees will be it's a steep, and I doubt it'll be worth much. But the game's still there's a lot of tech to be discovered. I mean, as we're seeing here, I think we're seeing a lot of variety in approaches for the people running this race.
Yeah, I do think you might see people who really do try and go for a weapon at all costs instead of running the dagger. Is fixed speed move like playing with Bard? Yes. Yeah. So it's just like you can move at whatever speed you want.
Worth noting that there is a change compared to Necrodancer. Necrodancer lets you just go as fast as you can mash. There is a speed cap here in Cadence of Hyrule. If you're mashing like crazy, you're not going to go any faster than if you just hold. There is a little bit of a delay on startup, so technically you can go a little bit faster whenever you start to change directions if you always like mash full speed. But it's very questionable if it's worth it.
Did Goof get the hookshot? He looks like he's going for the Calibog.
Yeah, I played with going for this on one of my earlier runs, but yeah, like going through this puzzle room is kind of slow. And like the 3 damage longsword is very strong for sure.
Oh, he's off by 1. Okay, you can get this with Kane. Huh.
Yeah, Kane and something to get the box off lets you get to the top.
Yeah.
I guess we're probably gonna see some Link play here since he's going for that.
Yeah, I mean, if if I have a choice of running this or the Titanium Caliborg is 2 damage, hits 2 spaces in front of you, and does it pierce?
I think it might be something like that, like like 2 or 3 damage with piercing or something. I can't remember. It's good. Yeah. that's all I really remember. It's good. It's good, though. I still prefer Royal Rapier because Royal Rapier is just like insane.
Yeah, the Royal Rapier lets you move when you attack. You do a bunch of damage. You
also stuns nearby enemies when you lunge into something.
But you have to have stamina. But yeah. So it's just like really safe and really fast.
Yeah, again, you'd regen stamina, a little bit of stamina on kill, and with it being a 3 damage lunge attack, like you are killing things a lot. So,
with the launcher, you can hold this out in front of you. Yeah, it looks like it pierces. A glass shovel, which you probably don't want. Right now he's got a battle shovel, which gives him damage after he digs. Which is... It's not as useful as it is because there's not a lot of... There's less dig.
Yeah, diggable walls are a less central part of the game, so it's not like you always have a wall on hand to get that boosted damage.
Yeah, Necrodancer the battle shovel. It's not really top tier, but it's very...
It's probably like my second favorite shovel to have. I think
always walls you can do.
Like behind just behind the courage shovel.
Yeah, which we do have in this game too, which you made use of. You had that map in the...
Yeah, courage shovel again, also like the insanely good item in Necrodancer, just kind of okay here.
Yeah, you're not digging as much as you are in Necrodancer, so you know, it doesn't save you as much time. Any other runners finished? Yeah. I don't know if anyone's close. Not a whole lot of people are streaming. There's around what 30 people in this race.
Yeah, something like that. We had about 30, I think. Which it's most people we've seen in a Necrobot race like a long time. So
most of the people are Necrodancer centric, but there are Zelda like rando runners joining in for fun, so...
Yeah, I did extend the invitation out for to some people in the blind runs server if they felt like making their first playthrough of the game a race. You've taken his time to do a lot of combat here.
We did get another finish, but yeah, we're on the Octavo boss fight here. Yeah, it took me a while to get my head around the fact dodge project.
Yeah, these 4 projectiles, the telegraphing on them is a little weird. To kind of understand. And also when Octavo shoots the diagonal fireballs, it can be a little awkward to dodge.
Yeah, hard to tell exactly how he's shooting them, but yeah, you can actually like sort of jump. Yeah, you want to dodge horizontally if you see one sword. Although it's Zelda, you always just jump over the blocks. You see those icons which lets you switch characters. You can just sort of switch the characters to do that.
Yeah, there's
I'm just hurting these Glockenspiel heads.
Yeah, these Glockenspiel heads are probably the most dangerous. It's a random order in this fight, and yeah, there's diagonal every beat movement enemies. They can be super hard to read, especially when they start to flood the screen like that.
So what are you expecting about sort of the normal times to be in these races?
I think, honestly, I think that once everyone kind of gets the meta down and that we get a little bit more consistent in the routing and the strats,
Boss
I think
fights.
we'll tend to see. I think runs like the one I just did are probably going to kind of become standard.
That sounds not too bad. There are also daily runs, daily speed runs throughout the game. So if you want to just race
do they run on permadeath mode?
I don't know.
I haven't looked at. Maybe I'll do one of those after this is.
Looks like we got another finish from Will Larson.
Oh, yeah, DJC in my chat telling me that dailies are permadeath enabled. Yes.
Oh, that is not fun, actually. It's annoying. I guess it's just alright. There's Octavo down. I guess it's I don't know. It's a way you can do like the flat still.
Fun thing I learned about the Octavo fight today is that if you drop a bomb as you die, and the bomb kills Octavo, despite getting killed and warped back, he stays dead.
Nice.
That's how I finally killed him in my Eves playthrough.
Eves being the challenge character you get for turning in 20 decals.
Yeah, he is rough. He's really rough.
Alright, we're getting some finishes here, so.
You don't quite realize it when you're playing a character that has plenty of health, but there are a lot of instances, I kind of mentioned briefly this, the randomness in bosses. There are a lot of instances where something pops up and you have to react correctly within one beat to take damage. You don't really notice that much when you've got plenty of health to spare, but when you've only got one, it hurts every single time that happens, and by hurts, I mean you're dead.
Yeah, I did see you try to use your burrow.
Yeah, I think that's the secret to Eves, really. It's just effectively using Eves' defensive ability, the burrow. Like, I was having a hard time getting myself to really use it consistently. I think if I can get that down, it might be a little bit more consistent.
You have to use your spells.
So Goop pushing through the final dungeon here.
Yeah, it shouldn't take him too much longer. Although, I don't know how... He had a lot of trouble with the Glockenspiel fight, so maybe he's gonna have trouble here. There's the Shadow Link.
No, it shouldn't be too tough with the longsword. Yeah.
It looks like he's on the final floor before the damage fight. Let's get some boots of power, +1 damage.
Yeah, those damage ups are generally pretty valuable.
He's gonna bomb into the shop. Wait, no, he's on the guidance site. He doesn't need to keep.
Yeah, at this point when you're in this dungeon, the keys only open up occasional chests you find on the floor.
There's a ring of piercing in the wall there.
There are some unique weapons you can find in the in this final dungeon in the locked chests, and they're solid weapons, but yeah, probably nothing worth swapping off the 3 damage longsword he's got.
There's a spear that does poison and lifesteal.
Yeah, that's a great one for a casual playthrough.
Yeah,
you can just kind of poke and run.
1 extra damage after you.
And there's some mini boss with the floor going down. I don't know where it came from though. Presumably the exit's not too far away. But, yeah, that might, what's it called, Kyra?
Yeah, you're on I think I'm on a delay compared to you, so...
There's the stairs right there.
Oh yeah, there are the stairs, okay, yeah. Alright, so, Ganon boss fight time. Shouldn't be too bad with this weapon. I noticed that you try to keep Cadence locked. In the first couple phases. Is that just like, you're worried about her getting hit, she's not very useful?
We have had a couple more finishers rolling in. Cancel in third with the 54-minute time, and Jaguar Nick in fourth with the 55. So, yeah, 1 minute difference between those two races. Not too far spread apart there.
It was actually pretty close between you and Goof until he got to Glockenspiel. Like, he would more or less just finish the fight when he got and he spent a long time dying, and then he went and he sort of like teamed up. Yeah, they're already pretty clogged with everyone's, besides Booty, is around 40 minutes or so right now. So I'm sure that's going to drop down. We're going to see some people in the 30 before long. Of course, it's possible for your character to become unfrozen by an enemy, right? The ice block can be melted.
Yeah, yeah, it's generally a good idea to leave one frozen here like this, so that you have one less target. Because all three characters here share a health pool, but if they're frozen, then they're not going to get attacked. But yeah, if you thaw all three, it does give you more angles to hit Ganon with, but it also gives you more characters you have to be watching for incoming damage.
When you start getting these big mini boss types like the Lionels.
These Dark Nuts can be a huge pain. Like, they chase you down so fast. And Goof's down to half a heart as he goes into the last phase, so this is pretty spooky.
And that one spin attack. Yeah, I was kind of underestimating, but there's some health. Yeah, he's going to try and take out these.
Oh, there, that heart drops very nice. Oh, getting crushed against the wall at the Dark Nut on the last phase. That's rough.
Yeah, we're going to do that fight.
Yeah, Dark Nuts are one of those enemies you kind of got to keep an eye on to really know what to expect they're about to do. Got to watch for if their shield's up or not, if they're going to push you or try and do a swipe.
Yeah, there's and there's no like armor in the game. A couple of pieces that break, so you're just taking damage from enemies. Those big guys hurt a lot.
Yeah, it's made up for a little bit by just like how easy it is to get extra heart containers. Like, there's pieces of heart absolutely everywhere, but
Yeah, you usually end up with
it only
around,
takes so many damage.
Yeah, you usually end up with around 10. You get, you'll probably get 2 from dying, and you'll get the ones from the bosses.
Yeah, and the ones from the bosses cost absolutely no time to get, because you have to wait for the instrument to float down anyway, so you're guaranteed that much, even if you want to push as hard as you can.
Hey,
All
final
right,
phase.
last phase again, a lot better on the health department.
Yeah, this should be GG. Lock in, step into the Triforce, and done. 61. Yeah, it looks about like 1 minute, 1 hour, and 30 something. So, in-game time 59:32. That was a lot of dying there. It was real fast up until all the dying. So, I guess that's that.
We had Mud Joe finishing about a minute before that with a 1 hour 37-second time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So yeah, I definitely think we can. I definitely think we're gonna see organized events of this. It's just a matter of the barrier for entry is a little bit higher because you need the Switch capture card.
Yeah, although like we don't tend to really be too picky about people streaming like for casual races in Microbot. So, you know, if you're ever on the racing server and you see a race room just up or something, and it's not for like a tournament match or something, you can.
Yeah, that boss fight in the Temple Storms sucks.
Yeah.
I've given them a name. I don't know if I should say it here. I think I'll say it off screen.
You were fine to say whatever. We actually have it marked for mature audiences, so.
Cool. Yeah, I was getting very mad at that boss, and so I've come up with the name Gleeful Cock.
Gleeful
Because
Cock.
that boss is a cock.
Yeah, it's really hard. The random heads all over the place. You just really got to predict what's happening. And
I ended up having to just leave and then get a titanium dagger, or farm diamonds so I could find the fairy fountain. Titanium dagger.
Do you not know
there's a titanium dagger in Gerudo Desert in every city.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the blue chest at the top of Gerudo Valley, like outside the dungeon, it's always a titanium dagger.
I did not know that. Well, now I know that, so that'll make my future runs faster.
Yeah, there's a lot of knowledge that is maybe not common knowledge yet. That I think once everyone's on the same page, I think we'll see a lot of races.
We'll see a lot of sub-30s and stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of runs. Like I threw down a 31:53 in game.
Thank you for telling me that. I really. So now I'm not gonna go beat your record.
Yeah, once we get all the infrastructure for like a wiki and stuff down, I'm sure we'll get everyone kind of on the same page, and we'll start to see a lot closer races.
Maybe start a doc to compile some stuff.
Despite me raging in the voice chat about that one boss, I think this is very fun.
Yeah, I took my death. Actually, come to think of it, it wasn't to Glockenspiel. It was actually to with Robo, because I took a Ring of Courage right before the fight, and then I remembered how awful Ring of Courage is against Miss Robo.
Yeah, because you hit something and now you're sliding over.
I also found a funny bug where if you channel Din's Fire while sliding on ice, after you get off the ice, even if you're still channeling Din's Fire, Zelda will just keep hopping in the same direction you were sliding. I wonder if there's some sort of advanced technique you can do to like ice slide with Din's Fire and keep moving while maneuvering. I can't think of any application where that would actually be useful, but it would be. It'd be hella cool.
Yeah.
You gotta go for those spike strats.
You see, I was relying on either getting a fairy fountain and having enough diamonds for it, or having hookshot and bow so I can get the rapier for my runs.
Yeah, besides the Kelly book, I didn't actually know you could. I didn't think about the Cane of Samaria.
But yeah, if you want, my strat for Glockenspiel goof, you stand like 2 tiles from it and just throw bombs at it constantly.
Oh, really? Alright, cool.
Bombs or bomb chews, they both work.
Yeah, I used bomb chews, and it helped make the fight go by faster.
Yeah, like if you're lucky, like optimal RNG is just the heads all stay clustered up and they all break off in 3 bombs, and then like 2 more bombs kills the body pretty much.
Well, that's cool. Alright. This game, we still have a lot to learn about this game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It
is kind of, yeah, and I just learned that permadeath mode isn't just like an addition of a failure condition, that it's actually like a harder game with more enemies.
Yeah, I figured that out when the entrance room in the Gerudo dungeon had a Lionel and a Dark Knight.
Like the lobby? Like
the lobby of the dungeon had a Lionel and a Dark Knight, and I died.
That's like breaking a sacred pact between between the developer and the player. The lobby is supposed to be a safe spot. Hold on.
Not when you're in permadeath mode, apparently.
Well, fuck me.
Yeah.
Alright, well, anything else from runners, commentators?
No, I think that's about it. GG. I'm looking forward to racing this game more in the future.
Yeah, just again, we've got a Discord server for Necrodancer and Cadence of Hyrule. Recommend checking it out if you're looking to get into this game, or for Necrodancer, because I kind of feel like this game is generally a little easier than Necrodancer, but Necrodancer was really heckin' hard, and a lot of people like never made it past the second zone. So I think this Cadence of Hyrule is a great more accessible way to get into this sort of gameplay. And if you end up deciding that Cadence of Hyrule feels a little too simple for you, then you can kind of graduate up to Necrodancer. Like, there's a whole lot of depth, I think, in both games, though. So, welcome to check it out. I'm gonna probably be running races like every Friday at the same time. So, like I said, it's just for funsies. So, if you don't have the capture card and all the streaming equipment, don't worry. You can just jump right in and start racing anyway. It's fine.
Yeah. I have one more thing. When you do play Necrodancer, I have this is an official announcement. I have a $10 bounty for anyone who beats my Cadence, Bolt, or Bard records.
Mr. Big Shot, wow, $10.
Incentive.
$10.
A whopping $10, everyone.
A whole $10 to try and destroy your wrist beating Goose.
For one of them. If you beat all of them, you get 30.
$10 each.
Oh man.
$10 each.
$10 each for each record.
Let's get out there. This madman has a sub-3 bolt run, and no one else is even close to that. So, like, if you want to go, you gotta work for those $10. Like,
yeah, you also have to hope you get leaping or lunging on Cadence and have like God fingers on Bard. Hope that you don't get what's it called?
Carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel, yeah.
Yep. Alright. Well, again, thank you guys very much for playing, for commentating. This was really awesome to see. Mind you, I beat this game like sub-4 yesterday, so...
That's the start.
I got my first sub 1 hour run today.
So, yeah, like, again, huge thank you to you guys for just being amazing at the game and just knowing a lot.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, thanks for putting this on. Thanks for commentating.
Okay, next, on ZSR, we are going, some of our next restreams are going to be Runner Guy versus Westover and Ocarina of Time Beta Quest. We've got a bunch of A Link to the Past randomizer cross keys stuff still going on. And, you know, the week, just our standard weeklies like, you know, Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time randomizer, all of that. So, if you guys like to see more, make sure to follow and, oh. Thank you, Neonius? Sorry if I butchered that. Thank you for the sub. I mean, you know, follow if you guys would like to see more. But aside from that, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.